Good evening. Welcome to another live episode on Disqualified Dads, episode 87. I am your coach, not your coach, I am your host, Coach Farouk, and I will be joined by my co-host, Mr. Dan, in a minute. Apologies for the delay. It was obviously Daravi, went mask, this, that, back, forth. It all just got a bit too much and just got this together. Mr. Ryan will be dialing in 1 sec. We're just having some technical issues. So we're going to get this show on the road. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Right. And by the way, guys, can you please confirm in the comments whether you can hear me clearly? Can you please confirm you can hear me? And whilst you're there, please confirm if you can hear Mr. Ryan. Can you hear me? No? Oh, you're joking. No? Hold on. Right. The people can hear me. But Mr. Ryan can't hear me. It's got to be your end, Mr. Ryan. It has to be your end because they can hear me. Sorry, guys. Bear with us. Technical issues. Occasionally on live, these things happen. Unfortunately, these things do happen. But we will get there. Just hang tight.
Hello.
Right. The people can hear me and I can hear you. Hey?
The people can hear you.
People can hear me and I can hear you.
Oh, very odd.
The thing is, you can't hear me. That means it's got to be your end.
Yeah, it must be at this end. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's just carry on and I'll work it out.
All right. Cool.
Carry on. Somebody's pressed a button somewhere.
Right, guys, as you can see, Mr. Ryan, again, he's got technical issues in his studio. He's got this fancy, super duper studio, right? Yeah. Hold on, you can hear Mr. Ryan. Dan, they can hear you. You can hear Mr. Ryan, yeah? Oh, no, he's gone. Guys, thanks for obviously letting us know, but yeah, let's sort this out. See, it's Mr. Ryan, it's not me, guys. I just want to clarify one thing here. My end is good. I've got a simple studio. My end is all good. I got no beef. You guys can hear me. I can hear you. I can hear Mr. Ryan. Mr. Ryan can't hear me. He can't hear us. Like, what's going on? So the problem is on his end. So let's just for the record, I just want to put it out there that the issue is on his end. Deep North, bandit country, they can't even sort out a bit of Wi-Fi. Do you know what I mean? Exactly. That's Victor. That's what I said. It's a problem with his headphones. This is what I said, but man, don't listen. Do you know what I mean? Problem with these Mackenzies is they think they know it all. You can't correct them. You can't give an opinion. You can't give a suggestion. They don't listen. Do you know what I mean? And he's got this super duper studio, and since then he's just not having it. Anyway, hold on, lads. Let me get comfy. Yeah, Look, apologies for the delay. Apologies for the late start. It was just a bit all over the place. But until Mr. Ryan gets here, let me get the ball rolling. Right. Mr. Adventures of the Map. Evening, gents. Could you tell me the process for adding new evidence at this late stage of prison, which has just come to light? Fact find went against me, refused permission to appeal, but this evidence, what's going on now? Sorry, apologies if that phone call came. Fact find went against me and refused permission to appeal, but this evidence is big. Okay, just stand by on that, Mr. P. We'll get Mr. Ryan, as it sounds quite serious. We'll get Mr. Ryan to answer that. Apologies, guys. Right, sorry, guys. Right, yes, I do remember your case, Mr. Adventures of the Map. Due to be back in court in a week, so very little time. Okay, fair enough. Look, Mr. Ryan will cover that. Just bear with us. Any advice? I haven't received Section 7 report. If it suddenly appears that the hearing complete, how can I take the time to challenge it without taking a barrister? What are my options? Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Just bear with us, lads. Just bear with us. We're getting there. Other than that, for those of you who are fasting, just a question: how is your Ramadan going? How are you finding the fast? And those who are going to mosque, like I said, take this opportunity to knuckle down, pray, ask God for guidance, for support, for strength, for endurance. Pray for all the fathers, pray for all of us, pray for all of our children, and take this opportunity to fill your spiritual gas tank. This is an opportunity to fill your spiritual gas tank so that when you're in these dark moments, when you're in these low moments, your belief, your faith, your spirituality will carry you through moments of disbelief, moments of despair. You need your spiritual gas tank. So those who are fasting, those who are, taking part in Ramadan, make the most of this opportunity. Yeah, fill your spiritual gas tank to the brink. This will give you strength and courage and endurance throughout the rest of the year. Also, it was my son's 7th birthday yesterday. Junaid is now officially 7 years old. 28th of Feb 2019, he was born. Yesterday was his birthday. He's now 4 years old, and the last time I saw him, he was 3 years old. March the 16th, 2022. That's the last time I saw him, just after his 3rd birthday. So this now officially marks 4 years. 4 years are creeping up with absolutely no contact whatsoever, no court date, no movement whatsoever. Ultimately, but look, I'm still hopeful. I still believe, and I still keep trying, and I still keep showing up, because that's what we got to do. We just got to keep chipping away. We cannot allow the odds that are against us to beat us. Persistence is undefeated. Remember this, guys. Persistence is undefeated. Now, what the family court tries to do is, and the system in itself is, they try to break your morale. Remember, when you're at war, see this book here, Sun Tzu, is it Sun Tzu Art of War? No, sorry, Book of Five Rings, Miyamoto Musashi. Now remember, in war, the art of war, the opponent who breaks your morale, who breaks your spirit, is the one who wins. Doesn't matter who's stronger, who's more skillful, who's more powerful. Boxing terms, when you're in those later rounds when you go to dig deep to survive, you're down on points, you're taking a beating, but how do you dig deep into your soul and find something that keeps you going, that keeps you believing, that keeps you fighting? That's what I'm talking about. Persistence is undefeated. If your morale, your spirit cannot be broken, you cannot lose. Doesn't matter how many obstacles are thrown your way. Doesn't matter how much punishment you take. If your spirit cannot be broken, you cannot lose. That's me. I cannot lose. I refuse to lose, because I will just keep going no matter what, ultimately. And we have to embody that spirit when you enter the system, because that's what they rely on. They rely on you emotionally, mentally, financially, burning out. They rely on you burning out spiritually. They rely on breaking your morale and breaking your spirit, and along the way you give up and walk off. That's what they want. Now, if you can show up in the face of disaster, if you can show up in the eye of the storm with a smile and say, I'm ready to go again, after taking punishment for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rounds, you still show up for the 11th round with a smile on your face. That's what it needs. That's what it takes. Patience, perseverance, persistence, a relentless pursuit. And that is only possible. This is only possible because we are dealing with we are dealing with our children. What are your children ultimately? Your children are a part of you, a piece of your DNA. They are a piece of who you are. They're a piece of you that's going to remain in the world once we move on. Once we go into the next realm, once we are buried, cremated, whatever, once we go cross over to the other side, our children will carry our DNA, our blood, our genetics. They will carry a piece of us in them. Now, everything else, your home, your assets, your wealth, your pension, gold, whatever it is that you had material, will belong to someone else. But your children, your child, your blood, your legacy, your DNA can never be anyone else's. And that is what drives us and gives us strength to persevere and continue. Now, if it was anything else in life, any other thing in life, it may be easy to give up along the way. But take courage and strength from the pain and the trauma, because we are dealing with things that are so close to your soul. That's where you draw strength from, ultimately. Right, I don't know where Mr. Ryan is, but let me just start reading out some of these comments. But don't worry, guys, we're going to address everything. Just bear with us. I don't know where he's at. Man's going AWOL, do you know what I mean? First his mic plays up, and then he goes AWOL. In the meantime, let's see if we can help each other with some of these questions. Mr. Glazer, hi, currently have a non-mol against me. Mother has supposedly texted a response to a conversation I was having with my son from his phone. The response was simply, no son, message, mum wrote it. Hold on. The response was simply, no son, message, mum, simply not worth. Hold on. Hello?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, yeah.
Ah, there we go. Right, I've returned back to my desk because the studio's decided to do an upgrade.
I can't believe it, man. The studio was running so well. We were going so good. And now we're back to this.
And then I notice on the corner of the screen it says upgrade going on. So
okay. Some sort of software upgrade going on.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
software. Anyway, so there we go. Don't worry about it. We're here now.
Well, whilst you were messing about with your studio and your upgrades and all this high tech kit and high speed into, here we go. Flipping it. What's going on? Man's gone again. Sorry, guys. Apologies. See, not a lot of people do a lot of lives. People don't do lives because of problems like this. But see, we're still doing it. We're still here. I'll be back in a sec, chaps. Just bear with us. Right, let me carry on reading this comment in the meantime. Hi, currently have a non-mol against me. Mother supposedly texted a response to a conversation I was having with my son from his phone. The response was simply, no son, message, mum wrote it. Have they breached contact as app close is on the court order? Anything I can do about it, or is it simply not worth the effort? Right, we'll cover that in a minute, Mr. Glazer. Right, are you back, Mr. Ryan? What's going on?
I'm back. I'm not quite sure what's going on with this. Rather interesting. It looks like I've got a fire going on in the building, and the room's full of smoke. But apart from that, I'm back.
That's because you're always firefighting on the front line. See?
Well, that's exactly what's going on there, fella.
All right. Well,
anyway,
we won't mess about with the introductions. I've done a solo intro myself for the last 15 minutes. So shall we just jump into questions?
Tremendous work.
Good. Thank you. Glad you acknowledged it. Right. Mr. P, evening, gents. Could you tell me the process for adding new evidence at this late stage, I presume, which has just come to light? Fact find went against me, refused permission to appeal, but this evidence is big.
Right, okay. I assume you asked for permission to appeal the fact find at the end of the fact find. So that being the case, it just means that you've been refused by that particular judge. You still have the civil right to appeal your fact find by taking it to the next level of judge, depending on who you're with. If you're with a district judge, you take it to a circuit judge. If you're with a circuit judge, you take it to the High Court. But you still have the right to appeal. if you have evidence that you say reflects upon the findings that have made in the fact find, then you have no option but to appeal and raise the fact that you have new evidence that has an impact on those findings.
Okay. Oh, okay. He's got a follow-up comment here. Oh, flip here, neck, man. What is going on? Sorry, guys. Just bear with me. He'll be back in a minute. I don't know what the brother's playing at. Well, do I attempt to dial in on his phone? Yeah, dial in from your phone if you can. Right, apologies, guys. He's got problems with his internet, so he's gonna dial in from his phone, which will give us a steady line. So apologies again. Right, Mr. Adventures of the Map. We will continue with your questions as soon as he's dialed in. Just bear with us. We'll jump straight into it now. Anyway, we've got a good turnout today, almost 20 people watching live. Guys, please hit the subscribe button, like, subscribe, follow, and share. Normally, it's a lot more organized and runs a lot more smoother than this. So if you're new to the channel, apologies. Just a combination of delays and technical issues today, which occasionally does happen, unfortunately. Here we go.
I'm running out of devices. I've come out of the studio into the office. The office is not working. I've now come out of the office. I'm now on my phone.
Great. We've got a great connection. Great video, audio. It's perfect.
Well, if this one crashes, I'll be trying to do it with a piece of string.
Yeah, all right. Let's not jinx it, guys. Let's not jinx it. We're steady now. Right. Mr. P has a follow-up comment or a question. Due to be back in court in a week, so very little time. Any advice? I haven't received Section 7 report. If it suddenly appears at the hearing complete, how can I take the time to challenge it without taking a barrister? What are my options?
Sorry, unfortunately, I can't see any of the comments on my phone. So is this the same guy who was asking me the question about evidence? Right. Okay. Yes. Well, if your next hearing's in a week's time, then the obvious question is why haven't you asked that question earlier? If the fact find led to a Section 7, you haven't had the Section 7 as yet. I presume there was a publication date for the Section 7. When was that? If that has not arrived yet, the next hearing should be adjourned, because you should have the opportunity to review the Section 7 and respond to it. It is totally inappropriate for the Section 7 to turn up on the day of the hearing and you're expected to try and digest it at that point. So if it does turn up on the day of the hearing, then you need to be saying to the court, I've only just received this. I've had no opportunity to consider it. I've had no opportunity to take advice on it, which is your legal right. Consequently, I need that opportunity. And the judge should have no real choice but to actually adjourn the hearing until such times as you've done that. But in the meantime, you need to fairly quickly get together an appeal. And obviously what you can then say also at your hearing, if it's this week, is say to the judge, look, just so you're aware, Judge, I have had new evidence enter this matter and I have taken to an appeal, which I have lodged with this court or with the High Court, wherever it is you're going, because I don't know which level of judge you're dealing with. And you just need to be aware of that, and I'll then see what reaction you're going to get from the judge.
Okay, perfect. Mr. Adventures, I hope that answers your question. Right, Mr. Glazer. Right, hi. Currently have a non-mole against me. Mother has supposedly texted a response to a conversation I was having with my son from his phone. The response was simply, no, son message, mum wrote it, So the response was no. It's from his son's mobile, but the mum wrote it, he believes. Have they breached contact as app close is on the court order? Anything I can do about it, or is it simply not worth the effort?
Well, if the non-molestation is against you, i.e. you're the one with the restrictions and the constraints, then mother has no restrictions or constraints. Consequently, she can do what she wants. So she hasn't breached anything if she sent a message via your son's phone or wherever. She has not breached anything because the non-molestation is not against her, it's against you. Now, obviously, if we've got that wrong, then clarify that to us and I'll give you a different view.
Right, he's got non-mol against him, yeah, but I think what he's saying is if mother has responded on the son's phone and said no and not used the app close to communicate with him, has she breached court order?
If the court order specifically says that the parent should only communicate using the parenting app, then yeah, technically she has breached the order. Are the court going to do anything about that? Absolutely not.
It's small fry, yeah. I think it's one text message saying no, you ain't got much to go on, but make a note of it. That's what I say. Make a note of it because this is a small little what's the word I'm looking for? One grain. This is only one little grain that you've got. You need to build up into a jar full of grains of evidence. So make a note, time, date, offense, and just put it in the back of your mind. Make a little note, and that's it. Start collecting the evidence. But at this stage, there's no point doing anything. Just gather the evidence. Right, Mr. S. Is there any implications of doing a DAP before it's ordered? Can the other side push for the longest and the most onerous DAP to delay contact? Some say cannot attend if having contact, so I need stop. Does that make sense?
There are various issues around DAPs inside and outside court proceedings. Apart from, if we put aside the whole issue of availability of DAP, because there are not many of them around, let's look at the other issues that have just been flagged there by S. The DAP that you are required to attend, if indeed you are required to attend one, should be agreed between both parties in court. Often the court will just say, go and do a DAP. That is not helpful anymore, given the issues and the constraints of actually finding one. So I certainly, in the last half a dozen orders that I have done in court where a DAP is necessary, we have ensured that the court names the DAP in the court order, and that can be in the London area. There's one called DV Act, which is currently proving quite popular. I've used it 3 or 4 times so far this year. In the Midlands, there's one called the Man in the Mirror, which again I've used twice, I think. Twice this year. So you try and ensure that you get your DAP named. But the other issues around DAPs are that not all DAPs will allow you to join the course whilst you are still in court proceedings. They say you have to wait until you are concluded before they will let you on. One of the other issues that we have is if the DAP is Respect accredited, which is the agency who theoretically accredit all DAP courses, but in reality they do not. The guidelines for Respect say that before you can join a DAP course, your court proceedings need to have been closed, point number 1. And point number 2, you need to have been out of those court proceedings for a minimum of 12 months before you should then start the DAP. So the DAP continues to be something of a minefield. So what I always say for the best is do your research on the DAPs, understand which DAPs will let you join whilst you're in proceedings, because they're the ones you obviously want to chase. Ensure that they ideally see where they are in terms of accreditation. If it's not Respect, find if it's something else that they are accredited to. Get a decent understanding of what the course consists of. It needs to have a remedial and a therapeutic and a direct intervention to it before the court will accept it as being valid. And then your final point, which is, will you be penalised in any way by doing your DAP? Before you are instructed to do so, no. I suggest you can certainly start it, given that it's probably, well, from what you suggest, you're obviously expecting you're going to get one. So there's no reason why you can't start it, providing you've ticked all those boxes that what you are doing is a course that the court is also going to recognise as being as valuable as you think it is.
Yes, yes. And who can recommend the DAP? So that be the
As I,
judge?
as I said right at the outset, it can be recommended. You can do your research and then get your counsel to recommend it into the court and demonstrate why it is that it's appropriate. Sometimes the court will throw one out there. Sometimes the other side will throw one out there. Picking up your earlier point, the other side will always look for a DAP that's as long as humanly possible in order to frustrate you longer. Most DAPs are of a similar length these days. They're between sort of 18 to 20, 24 weeks. So they're all 5 to 6 months long. They're all much of a muchness. But yes, so pretty much anybody can recommend a DAP. And sometimes Kafkas, if Kafkas are involved, sometimes Kafkas will mention DAPs, but they cannot recommend a DAP. They have no jurisdiction to recommend a DAP, but they can mention them. So they will. Kafkas will always mention Man in the Mirror. They'll always mention DV Act, and there's one up in the north, but you've got to live in the north in order to access it.
Every time you say "Man in the Mirror," just Michael Jackson pops up in my head. You know.
I appreciate the fact that you've managed to restrain yourself from showing us your MJ moves. I respect you for that.
Come on, Michael. I mean, he was a legend back in his day. He was a legend. Look, you know, you can't.
He was a legend.
Can't knock the talent, bro. Can't knock the talent.
With some significant issues.
Again, I would like to highlight things that happened in his childhood, and he was stuck in his childhood. He just stuck with identity. You know what I mean, it was a bad guy. But anyway, let's not get into that. Let's not get into MJ and moves and none of that stuff. Yeah, it's all very scary stuff these days. You know, all of them. Yes, I just wanted to mention about the DAP course, guys. And Mr. Ryan will correct me if I'm wrong. Within the next few months, we are going to try and, like I said, we're working behind the scenes to try and pull all this together. And we're going to hopefully be dealing with the DAP course, be fully accredited, our own version of the course, which will be accredited. It'll be like a one-stop shop on the Family Court Mastery. We're hoping to get that out there, to get it out there for you guys ultimately, so we can get on and move on. Ultimately, along with that, in Family Court Mastery, we'll do the MyAM certificate, the whole lot, start to finish, one-stop shop. So we're working on it behind the scenes. There's a lot going on. We will get there though. Just bear with us. Right, Mr. F. Kafkas, send you the report when it's done, pal. Don't bother with the DAP until it's ordered in case you do the wrong one. I think Mr. Ryan on here said you have to be out of proceedings a while before you can do one. There you go. Someone was already there sharing the knowledge. Right, Mr. S. Father's right. Evening, guys. Yes, Mr. Father's right. Apologies, we were late today. I think you were on time, but we might have been late. So, you know, apologies. Right, loads of people saying they can hear us. Yes, we can hear you. I can hear you both. Try your headphones, Mr. Ryan. Yeah, I know Mr. Ryan's got problems with the studio. Right, here we go. Right, Mr. M. Can I get private independent social worker contact reports with observation between me and my children included in child proceedings and included in Section 7 report? Question mark. I have children unsupervised. This is a good question.
Right, let me have a look. So can I get private independent social worker contact reports with observations between me and children included in child proceedings? The answer is yes. If you are using an ISW, as referred to them as, an independent social worker, if you're using one, and they are producing reports for you, absolutely you can submit those to the court and insist that they are considered and included in the Section 7. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that was pretty straightforward. DAP report suggested I do observation reports. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine. As part of your or his contact with his children, that he needs to be observed in order that reports can be provided that share how he interfaces with his children.
Okay. Right, Mr. SA, big up Farouk. Big up Farouk, brother. SA here. Sorry, big up Farouk. Brother SA here. You are in my doors, and thanks to Mr. Ryan for helping me with my upcoming course. That's what we do. That's why we're here. We're here to help. That's our job. We're here to help, guys. I just want to say, in the last well over a year. Have you tried to sell you anything? Have you tried to push anything? Like all the other live streams, all the other channels across the board on the internet, they're all trying to sell you something. Have you tried to sell you something? I'm going to ask you. Have I tried to push anything from you? Has anyone tried to claw money out? I'm not doing this for free, bro. We're doing this for free just to help the people out there. Do you know what I mean? Right, Mr. L. Hi. I currently live in temporary accommodation and want to request overnight stays for my child at my parents' home. There is a spare room. I want to understand whether this could be used against me. Yeah, I reckon this could be tricky.
Tricky, but not impossible.
I like that.
Providing, obviously, there are no, and I'm not suggesting for a minute that there are, but providing that there are no issues around your parents, because the court will seek for there to be a safeguarding check made of your parents before they agree to that. But providing there's no issue around your parents, then there should be no issue around that contact arrangement being acceptable. I've had lots of occasions over the years where somebody's own living arrangements are not ideal or suitable for children, particularly if they house share. And obviously, you've got one bloke who's in a house with 4 other blokes. That's just not suitable for bringing children into, or indeed other women. But they have parents, and so the children go and stop with Nan and Grandpa or Omar or whatever we refer to them as, and Dad goes and stops there as well. He's on the sofa. The kids are in a bedroom. CAFCAS are okay with that. Social services are okay with that. That's perfectly acceptable. So no, there's no reason why that will cause anybody any concern.
See, that's good information. That's actually good to know, guys. Make a note of that. See, stuff like this is good to know. I think with the family court, CAFCAS, all of these, there's so many little nuances that you can be so uncertain about. Like you could have 100 questions about the minutest, or the something that may seem most trivial or the silliest thing, but if you don't know, you don't know. So it's a good question. You learn something here every week. Right, Mr. Z, salams to you, my brother. Mr. P, hearing already rescheduled. Adventures of the Map, hearing already rescheduled. That's the first question we talked about, that guy.
Yeah.
So I presume, yeah, he's already on it. Right, Mr. Z, my ex has initiated family proceedings against me on 3 occasions in the past. She has always used DV as underlying reasons. She has now invited me to mediation. I prefer court. What are my options? I have agreed to attend MIAM as I know costs could be issued against me. How many times can I go back to court before I apply for a barring order? This is a bizarre sort of situation, really. Shall I read that first bit again?
No, you're okay. If you've already been in proceedings 3 times, or even if this is your 3rd occasion of being in proceedings, you are already sat on the threshold for a barring order. Unless there's a reason why it is the judge feels that there shouldn't be one in place. The normal stance of the court is when a set of parties have been in court twice, the court will consider a barring order, because it's like, well, stop using us as just the ring that you want to fight it out in. That's not what we're here for. We're going to put a barring order in place to stop you coming back, or certainly obstruct you coming back. So if you're already 3 times in, or you're in now for your 3rd time, yeah, you are absolutely sat on the threshold for asking for a barring order.
Yeah, but what I don't understand is, right, like, she's initiating family proceedings against him. She's claiming DV, but what I don't understand is, like, what is she trying to claim? Unless he's taking her to court for child access or something, what is she taking him to court for? I don't get it. I'm a bit confused.
Well, who knows? She could be taking him to court to try and actually get him removed from the children's life completely, as a result of continuing to compound the domestic abuse allegations. So, we do not know. But specific to a barring order, yes, you are within the threshold to make that application.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. And should he bother with this MIAM or not? What do you think?
that question I can't really answer because I don't know what they're trying to achieve. I'm a big fan of mediation if it can have some merit, if it can be effective, even if it achieves one small thing, it is worth doing. So I'm a big fan of mediation. So I see no reason why he shouldn't engage. I see no reason why he shouldn't engage.
Right, we've got some context from him now. Right, we've got some context. So we have an order in place. 3 kids, but eldest 2 have taken a step back from contact. The youngest still goes. So 2 of them have stopped turning up for contact, I presume, and the little one he still sees. So I don't know what she's taking him to court for. She might be taking him to try and change the order. Hold on, we got it now. I am main carer. I don't know what she wants to achieve via MyAm. Right, so she's pushing him for contact. He's the main carer. He's resident parent.
Okay, so the children are with him. So yes, all right. So the reason that she's going to court is because she wants to have more contact with the children, particularly if the 2 older ones have stepped away from the order, voted with their feet, as we say in the trade. Okay, yeah, now I see why it is that she would go. Go to mediation. Go to mediation. Don't subject yourself to court if you can possibly avoid it. Go to mediation. See whether you can talk it out with the woman.
Yeah, look, go to mediation. She what she wants, and if the kids have stepped away, say, look, it ain't me, it's them 2. It's not me. Little one still wants to go, so I'll bring him. He has contact. The older 2, I don't know how old they are, and look, I get it. I don't know the ins and outs of the situation, but if you've got contact, your resident parent, just, how can I put it? You're in a good place. You're in a good position. If the kids can be encouraged to have a relationship with their mother, like, I don't know the ins and outs of it, so I don't want to comment in that way, but just to put a more sensible, balanced view out there, not based on any facts that I know. I'm just saying, if you can encourage the older 2 to say, listen, we don't need to go court. I'll try and encourage them to come and see you occasionally, blah, 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 blah. Then make a little effort in it. Try and talk to the kids. Say, this is your mother. Still respect her. Blah, blah. Look, we don't want to be like them. We don't want to do what they do. Do you know what I mean? So just encourage the kids if you can. He's saying, yes, voted with their feet. Eldest 2 aren't budging, 12 and 14. Look, I don't know the context behind it, but she's still their mother. She's still a parent. I'm presuming she still loves those kids. Let me put it this way. I'm going to say this from a position of the fact that, forget mother, father, this is the child's, one of their parents. And I presume that parent still loves these children. If you can just encourage your children, and at the MyAm say, look, it's not me, it's the kids. But what I'll do, because I'm a nice guy, because I am a good person, I'm a good resident parent, and I love these kids, and I want to put these kids first, I will try and encourage the children to come and see you as per the contact order. Just say that to MyAm, wrap it up, walk away. We don't want to start going through court back and forth. So I would say do the sensible thing. Just play the game and try and encourage your kids if you can, yeah? Right, where are we? I've lost my chain. Apologies. Right. Mr. S. Right, Mr. S. Would then the other side always try to push for respect accredited DAP, as that would mean you need to stop contact or be out of proceedings for 1 year?
It doesn't necessarily mean you've got to stop contact. It means that you've got to stay outside proceedings for a year before you can start the course, but contact can still carry on if the court is happy for it to take place. The reason that lots of agencies who are running DAP courses are not renewing their respect accreditation, which is causing something of an issue, is because it's quite onerous. And one of the most difficult situations is that whole you've got to wait 12 months, because the organization that I'm doing a lot of work with at the moment, who are a London-based organization, their view is, which is mine, we share this view, that asking somebody that they've got to wait 12 months before they can start a DAP course, which then takes 6 months, 18 to 22 to 24 weeks. So which means you're then at 18 months away from the court. You then got to apply to the court, and you know as well as I how long that will take. So potentially you're going to add another 6 months onto that. So you're then at 2 years before you might be stood in a courtroom being able to discuss whether you get to see your children or not. And that is disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful. So I don't understand, I genuinely do not understand the logic of the respect guidelines, this 12-month waiting period. I do not understand what it achieves, what its purpose is, but it's fundamentally wrong in terms of a relationship with a child.
Yeah, I sometimes wonder what the family court are actually trying to achieve in any case, honestly. Right, Mr. S.A. again. Question for Mr. Ryan. What are top 3 family courts, in his view, in the UK that has the most severe delays? I would presume the first or 3 would be London courts, and the top 1 is East London Court. I think there's no secret. I think every child who's in court proceedings, I'm talking, listen, my 7-year-old son, whose birthday was yesterday, he's now 7, even he knows that East London Court is the worst in the land with the most severe delay. He's 7 and he knows. Do you know what I mean? So that's the first one. What about the other 2?
I'm not going to name 3. It's the London courts. The London courts, and it is a symptom of the amount of caseload that they have. But the London courts, be it East London, West London, which is over by Heathrow Airport, be it Barnet, which obviously where we were the other week when we were in the cafe, be it Central Court, which is in High Holborn, all of them suffer the same problems. The London courts are just swamped, absolutely swamped. And they are incurring the most significant delays.
Yeah, but do you think like the London courts are swamped because relationships in London generally aren't lasting because of being in London? High pressure. It's like a high pressure cooker, and relationships just, what's the word I'm looking for? Just can't take the heat. And boom.
Maybe so. It's an interesting question. It would be interesting to look at the data on that as to how, if somebody is mapping the breakdown of relationships, are there these little clusters of high activity, and are those clusters, and I would imagine they would be, are those clusters around the cities where obviously life is harder, where life is more pressurized? So would we look at that data and see London probably followed by Birmingham, actually, and then followed by Manchester, as possibly being, the hotspots for relationship breakdown? It's an interesting point. And I think there's probably some truth behind it.
I think we should look into this and try and find out what town or what part of the UK has the least amount of cases in family court, least amount of applications. That would be very interesting to know, because maybe we need to get out of these hotspots, man. Maybe that's the thing.
Well, while you're chatting, I'll have a look.
Yeah, check it out. Right, so Mr. Z, I think what makes it hard is she's a performative parent, so not consistent. In that case, look, this is what you do. Go to the MIAM. Whilst you're going to the MIAM, apply for that barring order anyway. So get that barring order in, and in the meantime, you show up at the MIAM, you play your part, you talk to her, you say, look, I'll try, and you speak to the kids. You do your bit, speak to the kids, saying, it's not me, it's the kids, I'm doing my best, I'm encouraging them, blah, 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 and get the barring order in place at the same time. Now, you're saying she's a performative parent. Like I said, you know her better than anyone. We don't know her. So you got to make a decision based on what you know, ultimately. But yes, do that. Go on. What did you find?
It's my ChatGPT model 5.2 thinking is still thinking. Oh, hang on. No, it's all right. The results are coming in, folks, hot off the press. So there isn't, I'm reading it straight off the screen. There isn't an official UK town with the most divorce or relationship breakdown ranking, because divorce counts are published nationally rather than using town boundaries. However, the closest comparable place-based proxy people use is the number of residents who are divorced, or the share of ever married residents who are divorced. And on that basis, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll please, the divorce hotspot is Blackpool.
Oh my God.
According to the 2021 census, there are more divorced people in Blackpool per capita than any other town or city in the country.
The hell?
Well, how about that?
Must be that Sierra.
It must be the sea. Yeah, that has surprised me greatly. Because to be fair, oh no, I'll not make the comment I was about to make. I was going to be a very derogatory comment about Blackpool, but I won't make it. So, but that surprises me. Mm.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Listen, Blackpool ain't. I remember going to Blackpool as a kid because it ain't that far from Preston, Bolton, Blackburn as well. Where I sort of, yeah, this is not what I expect. I've got to be honest, not what I expected.
It surprised me too. It surprised me too. But yeah, you see, but yes, we must remember, out of this little section that we've had here, that we've been reminded that, of course, at heart, my brother, you are a northerner.
I am a northerner. I gave it away. I gave it away. Yes, look, I think everyone knows by now. I was born and raised in Preston, Deepdale. Up until the age of 10, 11, then I came to London. But born and raised up north, Preston, Deepdale, broad capital of the country.
Indeed, beautiful, beautiful part of the world, Preston. Beautiful part of the world. Freddie Flintoff country.
Exactly, Freddie Flintoff and Lancashire. Listen, it's got some nice countryside. I must admit, when you do drive down there, sometimes you think, man, I could just live out here in peace, get away from all of this chaos in London. Do you know what I mean? Right, here we go. Where are we? Right. Mr. Stephen, hope you got through yesterday okay, mate. Yeah, listen, it was the boy's birthday. I ain't going to lie. One part of me, for the first half of the day, yeah, even though I knew his birthday was coming up till sort of early evening, I sort of forgot. And as the evening approached, I thought, oh yeah, it is the 28th. It's his birthday. So then I made a couple of Instagram posts. And yeah, listen, I got through it okay. But I think generally you go through peaks and troughs, and there's cycles and stages throughout the year, throughout the weeks and months of when you're going through this. There's days and weeks you could go, nothing affects you, nothing bothers you. And then you might just have the odd day where it's doom and gloom. And there's, you get little spikes and dips, and it's just how it is. And yesterday forgot most of the day. And then towards the evening, as I made the post, you start seeing the pictures, and then you start thinking, like, what's going on, man? 4 years. It's his 7th birthday. And I do not even have a court date. I have no hearing. And you think yourself, where are we going with this? What is happening? Where are we going? And then the realization that you think, is this it? Like, is it done? Is it best I just bury this and forget it and think, right, let me just make my path for me and move on and just leave this in the past and say, whatever happens, that you do, these things go through your mind. These things happen. But look, I speak to a lot of fathers. And one thing I know for certain is, compared to a lot of fathers, I seem to be managing all of this, a lot better than most. So, thank God. I thank God for that. For giving me the strength and resilience to persevere and endure and carry on with a smile. Right. Mr. Victor thinks Wales, he thinks, has the least amount of cases. I don't know, man. Wales, you sure? Wales got problems, man.
Well, probably, obviously, because there are only 3 million people in the whole of Wales. I think that's the number. So, yes, that he's probably right there in terms of the per capita spread. But the other, seeing as we're dwelling on relationship breakdowns, the other thing I've just asked my good friend ChatGPT, and I knew the answer to this, to be fair, but I've just asked him anyway. What are the 3 top reasons people give for ending their relationship?
Go on, this is a good question.
What is number one? Come on then. What is number one? The number one reason, 26% of people who give a reason as to why their relationships are broke down, put this up at number one.
Number one, you're too fat. She's too fat. You put on too much weight. No?
No. Number one is money.
Yeah, of course.
Money worries. Money worries is number one. Number 2 is not understanding each other.
Yeah, but come on.
And number 3 is differing sex drives.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ah,
So having an incompatible sexual relationship.
that could be related to weight gain. Hence,
Well,
why I
yeah,
said
okay. There is probably a connection there somewhere. Yes.
you're too fat and I don't fancy you no more. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I don't mean to use language like that, but it could happen.
Yeah, it could happen. But I don't want you to get upset by that. You push through. I don't want you to be upset by that. You need to push through.
What? Getting fat? What?
When all them girls on Tinder said it to you, I want you to push through.
Mate, I am a specimen. You've seen the videos, guys. You've seen the training. You know, I've not done any topless stuff for a while. Listen, come summer, I'll be doing these streams in a vest. Be ripped, shredded. And all these mothers will be DMing me. I'll have single mothers all around me while I'm doing these streams, bringing me coffees. I told you. That's the plan.
Ah, the old coffees.
Yeah, I had to have a latte tonight, man. I was tired. Right, Mr. Z, do I present my reasons at the MyAm or am I giving my ammo too soon? But this is what I'm saying. Depends on your objective in the MyAm. Are you just going to go here or out and say, look, I'm trying my best, I'll do my bit, blah, blah, blah. As far as the ammo is concerned, are you standing on the fact that they don't want to know you, leave me alone? Or is that what you mean? But like I said, do the barring order, but go to the MyAm, nod along, play the game. Don't give too much resistance in that sense. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. That's probably about right.
Yeah, makes sense.
Probably
Yeah.
about right.
Go with
I was
that.
just asking chat another question.
Right. What happens in a final hearing?
Final decisions are made. Yeah, that's a facetious answer.
Final
It really-
hearing, you will get your child contact order laid out to you, ultimately. That's what I'm presuming.
That is essentially it. Yeah, the final hearing is exactly that. It's about rounding up. It's about concluding the resolution of the matter, either because you agree it between yourself and the other party, or because the judge imposes it upon you. So depending on the nature of your final hearing, depends on what will happen there, and also depending on what representation you have. If Kafkas are in the room at the final hearing, they have come to be questioned because one of you doesn't agree with what they've recommended. The two parties may undergo questioning during a final hearing, or they may not. You may have legal representation who does questioning for you, or you may not. So there are so many variations in terms of a final hearing. The one thing that you can guarantee in terms of a final hearing is at the end of it, the door will close, and that is the last time you will be in court.
Yeah. Hopefully you get a good result, or you get a result that is reasonable. Right, Mr. Zaid, how much does a barring order cost? That's a good question. Interesting. A few £100?
It doesn't cost anything because you can't buy a barring order. You can't apply for a barring order. The only person who can grant a barring order is the judge, and the judge will you can ask for it, but the judge will grant it if they believe it's applicable. You can't apply for one or pay for one.
Okay, so the question is, how do you get one then? How do you apply for one?
You make the application when you are in your final hearing or in a hit. Yeah, it will be your final hearing. Within your position statement, you make reference to a barring order. So you say, I think it's appropriate for this court to consider a barring order as part of this final hearing. The judge will take on board that comment. If he's a nice judge, he will then consider it and give you the reasons why he does or doesn't grant it, or she does or doesn't grant it. If he's not a nice judge, he may say, well, you've made no formal application. So it's a very difficult one because formally you should complete a C2, court fee £190, and formally apply for a barring order to be considered. And then the judge has no choice really, but to consider it. He still doesn't have to give it, but he has to consider it because you've made an application. I tend to, not wanting to spend my client's money willy-nilly, I tend to add a barring order into a final position statement without a formal application and just encourage the judge to think about it and make a decision based upon it, thereby saving £190.
Okay, so look, this is where I'm curious. So look, his missus is taking him Mayam, and she's trying to take him to court again because she wants to see the two that are not seeing her. She wants to push for that. So then he has to say, right, allow her to go to the Mayam, see what happens. If she still then gets her Mayam certificate and then goes to court, he has to attend that court, and that during those hearings, he has to then do what you've said, but he has to go through the process. He'll have to engage with her in court.
Yes, yeah, and then he has to be saying to the judge, look, judge, this is the third, I think it was the third time, this is the third time we're here. It's self-evident that the children are voting with their feet now, certainly the oldest one. I think you said the oldest one was 13 or 14. So, judge, if we run this matter, it's going to take a minimum of a year. At that point, the oldest one is now pushing 15. The next one down is pushing 13 and a bit. And then obviously the youngest one is whatever the age the youngest one is. We cannot, as a court, or indeed as parents, dictate to children of 13, 14, 15 years old that, you know, every Saturday they're going to go and sit in the contact centre for 2 hours. We can't dictate that because, you know, they're going to say no, and they're going to rebel against that. Which means, and the judge will be minded to that, and the judge will say, well, look, I'm not going to make that order. So, mother, I'm not going to make an order that forces these children to see you because I can't force these children to see you.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, it's good to know. You learn something every week. Right, Mr. Victor has said the three things, and he's bang on. But he's the order he said it in is number one, no nookie, no communication, and money. The thing is, right, what's scary is imagine all three of those were affected your relationship. Like you had no chance, really. Think about it. We're saying those are the reasons people divorce, but I know all three of them apply to many cases that I've spoken. You know, I'm dealing with and people I speak to. You know, so yeah. Mr. Ryan, is there anything else you want to add? Any other facts from ChatGPT you want to share with us and enlighten with?
The only other thing I asked Chat, and I have to say I am surprised by this answer as well. I said to Chat, just following on from the whole divorce thing, I said to Chat, what is the average number of marriages that a person goes through in their lifetime? And I expected the answer to be 2, to be perfectly honest, because I think certainly the majority of people that I can think of have been married twice, or probably on their second marriage. Some are more, but are on their second marriage. So I expected the answer to be 2. Actually, it's not. The answer is still 1. As a nation, we still, on average, only undergo 1 marriage. And that surprises me, actually. That does surprise me.
Yeah, but think about it. I mean, if a bloke's been through the family court system and divorced once, like, do you want to risk going through all that again? Like, think about
that's true. No, that's true. But you have to bear in mind that obviously the family court system, that those parents who experience the family court system, they represent 5% of the population.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe. Listen, maybe. Yeah, it just seems like there must be a lot more. But yeah, that's all it is. Maybe
currently there are. I think the last figures I looked at, which were December figures, there are about 190,000 children currently in the family court. That is about 5-6% of the population of children in this country.
Look, maybe things aren't as bleak and as bad as we think they are out there. There's hope for us.
I'm going to say they are, because even 0.1% of people engaged in the family court is 0.1% too many. So they are bleak and immensely sad. I've just asked ChatGPT how many children there are in the UK. It's just about to give me the answer. Bear with me 1 sec. I want to just confirm that I'm not talking out the top of my head. I know the number of children. I just need to know, i.e. the number of children in family court. I just didn't know the number of children in the country, but it's about to tell me. Bear with me. It's thinking about it. It tells me that it depends on age. Just give me an answer, chat. Let's not make it complicated. Quickly, chat. It's thinking about it. So I am surprised that the average marriage count in the UK is still only 1. I'm probably quite pleased by that fact, but I'm surprised. I did expect it to be higher. I'm still waiting for this figure to come through, so I can work out how many children. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it would appear that the last set of data shows that there are 12 million children in the UK.
Wow. Okay.
And 200, and for a round figure, 200,000 of them are in family court. So it's still a significant percentage. Let's not kid ourselves, but it's not. I'm now going to use a calculator and work out what it is. It's not it's not as big a number. It's not a horrifying number divided by 12.
People that fall into this system are still a very much minority, really.
Yeah, and it represents 2%. So it's 2% of the children in this country are currently locked into family court. Now, okay, at that level, you think, okay, 2% of the child population are in family court. Well, that's okay. That's not too bad, because that suggests that 98% are outside. There is some weighting to that, because of the 98% who are outside, some of them probably should be in family court. And they don't go there for a whole host of reasons as to why they don't engage with the family court. There's issue number 1. But issue number 2 is obviously, if you are amongst those 200,000 children who are inside family court, you're in a living hell.
Yeah. But like I said, I expected the percentage to be much higher, so it is surprising. I have to say, very surprising. Right,
Yeah, so now I've got nothing more to say. If you're in court, all the usual stuff. If you're in court this week, respect the court, it will respect you. Have a good week. Continue to enjoy, if that's the right word, Ramadan, those of you who are indulging in it, involved in it, and we will see you all next week.
Yes, guys, just a quick one. Next week, I will update the times next week, so I might even just push it to 9:15 if possible, just to accommodate all these delays and whatnot. Apologies for the delays and the technical issues today. I'm sure Mr. Ryan will get his studio fixed by next Sunday. Like, subscribe, follow, and share. And yeah, we will see you on the next one. Hang in there and keep chipping away.